he's like that. So him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, it just, he.
They called him the wild child of Atlanta rap royalty, but nobody imagined King Harris, the son who once bragged that he stood on business, would find himself living the nightmare we're seeing now. The gates of celebrity privilege have slammed shut. We're talking about a young man raised between private studios and luxury suites, now locked up and reportedly fighting for his dignity every single night. The same face that grinned from red carpets and family reality TV has, we're told, been battered, humiliated, and despised inside prison walls. It's not just the tabloid whispers. Multiple sources confirm the beatings, the taunts, the isolation. There are stories leaking out that King's cellmates targeted him from day one, not for the crimes on his rap sheet, but for his last name, for his father's riches, for the weight of that Harris legacy.
Now, here's our issue with King. First off, the kid's a menace, right? He goes around. No, I'm serious. Yo, King, listen. King goes around terrorizing the community of Atlanta, bro. That's a fact, bro. I'm serious, bro.
We've seen the footage. King, swollen-faced, boasting that he still got his chain after a dust-up, trying to brush off what was clearly a message from inside. It's easy to clown a rich kid for folding under pressure, but we've heard reports from deep inside that this isn't just hazing. This is a systematic takedown. Guards, inmates, even staff are allegedly trading stories about what's happening to the celebrity's son. Then came the hospital transfer, an intensive care unit, sources say, after yet another round of violence. We've seen this cycle before. Celebrity offspring who burn bright on Instagram, then pay for it when the filters come off and the doors slam shut. But there's something different here, something colder. We're hearing King Harris is despised, not just bullied, the kind of hatred that makes people look away, that leaves him friendless, unprotected, and, if whispers are true, a daily target. While the world wonders how a kid with 7 siblings, a platinum-selling father, and a Grammy-winning mother could wind up in such a mess, the story outside the jailhouse is spiraling even faster. T.I., the self-anointed king of the South, has moved heaven and earth to yank his son out of this disaster. It started with calls to lawyers and public pleas, but quickly, the phone calls shifted to private meetings, cryptic payments, and, if you believe what's floating through Atlanta's nightlife, some serious backdoor dealings with prison authorities. We've seen the social media posts, the carefully worded Instagram captions about not spreading propaganda. But those who followed T.I. know he's not above flexing muscle when family is threatened. What's playing out now, though, is a high-wire act. Every time T.I. tries to cut a deal or call in a favor, it lands in the rumor mill, and King's situation gets uglier. If you believe the jailhouse grapevine, every effort to shield King just paints a bigger target on his back.
And as an adult, T.I. owns a significant amount of commercial and real estate property in Atlanta metropolitan area. He's a respected businessman in the industry of music. And his reality show was one of the most wholesome reality shows I've ever seen. It was kind of Bill Cosby-ish. And it was a dynamic that I thought provided some balance to the reality shows in general.
Legal insiders insist T.I. has been working every angle, from bail petitions to, as some suggest, outright negotiations with guards to look the other way or move King to a safer block. But here's the problem. In a place where respect is earned in blood, not bank accounts, that kind of interference is poison. It's not just talk either. There's now rampant speculation that King's hospital visit was the direct result of his father's involvement. Was T.I.'s influence the lifeline or the curse? Did the other inmates simply decide that anyone getting special treatment, especially a Harris, would pay double? The online backlash is vicious, with critics shouting about celebrity justice, demanding to know why a rapper's son should get an easier ride than anyone else. Meanwhile, those inside say every new privilege for King only makes his life harder. As always, the Harris name opens doors, but not always the ones you want. Behind all this, there's the question that's been stalking the Harris family for years. Is King just the latest casualty in a generational curse of chaos and scandal? This isn't their first trip around the block. We've watched T.I. and Tiny weather everything from canceled shows to tabloid meltdowns, but the latest whispers threaten to drag their entire legacy back into the gutter. Sabrina Peterson, the woman who once accused T.I. of holding a weapon to her head, is back in the headlines, and this time she's aiming higher. Her Instagram is a minefield of allegations, receipts, and threats to bring the whole house down. She claims to have texts tying King himself to a so-called web of manipulation and promises the authorities, feds, not just local police, already have the evidence.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
These are not the kind of rumors that fade quietly into the night. When Peterson says, "I have protected your children," and then threatens to release human trafficking receipts on her birthday, says she's not just talking about T.I. and Tiny. She's putting King front and center, dragging the 20-year-old into allegations that span a decade of secrets, betrayals, and, if the DEA or FBI are watching, possible criminal conspiracy. The accusations have already cost the Harris family their VH1 reality show. They've cost them brand deals, respect, and, if you believe some insiders, any chance of a normal life for their youngest children. Now with King sitting in a cell, bruised and alone, it looks like the sins of the parents are coming due for the next generation.
Yes, that's right. Lawyer Tyrone Blackburn is going to authorities, asking and encouraging state and federal prosecutors to start a criminal investigation into T.I. and Tamika Harris, aka Tiny, on behalf of 11 accusers.
But is King a casualty of his family's endless drama, or is he hiding secrets of his own? Peterson's allegations rejected, denied, but never quite disappearing now point not just at T.I. and Tiny, but at King's generation. There are the stories of text exchanges with a girl whose family believes she was caught in a trap. There are claims of forced substances, manipulation, coercion, words that get lawyers salivating and audiences clutching their pearls. The feds already have this, Peterson boasts. I think the fans need it. For years, King Harris paraded his wild side for likes and retweets. Now, every late-night video, every offhand remark, every flex of standing on business is being dredged up as possible evidence of something darker.
You're a great family man. I see you how you blended your family together. And it's not easy. And that's what I want to ask you about. It's not easy.
Family loyalty has always been T.I.'s public brand. Da ha family tied like a knot, he posted recently, insisting he'd ride to the heavens or da depths of HE double hockey sticks for his son. But insiders say that bravado may be what's hurting King's shot at survival. In a world where the only thing that matters is what you can prove or what you can buy, has the Harris patriarch finally overplayed his hand? Some say T.I. is in denial, clinging to the belief that his son is simply misunderstood, a good kid chasing after the wrong stuff. Others, watching the family meltdown from the sidelines, see the exact same patterns that led to so many broken lives in the industry before. And as the legal storm gathers, the Harris clan is circling the wagons, at least in public. Tiny is online swatting down rumors that King isn't the father of his own newborn, while Zanique claps back at anonymous accounts and TikTok gossip. Their efforts only fuel the fire, turning family drama into viral content. But behind the posts, the anxiety is raw. King has a baby, a record, and, for now, a future that could swing from sold-out shows to a cell block, all depending on what comes next. As for Peterson's promised birthday bombshell, nobody knows if it's just another attention grab or the missing link that could turn one family's downward spiral into a full-blown criminal case. We've all watched enough scandals to know how this story usually ends. Denials, distractions, maybe a settlement, maybe a plea deal, but with King Harris in the hospital, humiliated, and by all accounts, hated by his peers, the stakes have never been higher. The glitz and gloss of reality TV can't hide the bruises. The money and muscle of T.I. can't buy respect in a world where even the guards, according to one former road manager, have something to prove. The truth is, the Harris family's reality show never really ended. It just moved behind locked doors, into police reports, and onto the rumor feeds of a nation that can't look away.
Still trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
And as for those whispers about King's case tying into the Harris family's bigger legal nightmares, the ones that never quite made it to court but always seem one headline away from exploding, there's a sense, even among T.I.'s closest allies, that this might be the moment the House of Cards finally wobbles. We've seen the lawsuits, the FED investigations, the social media meltdowns. We've seen the public statements, "We are innocent of these fake claims," T.I. and Tiny Thunder, even as their legal team tries to swat away yet another round of civil suits. The reality? Statutes of limitations have saved them more than once. Now, the headlines are about King, and there's no clock to run out.
Making mistakes. I ain't had no daddy who would pull up and get on my ass anytime. Things I did, you can't get away with. I know that.
Even as King Harris's fate hangs in limbo, it's impossible to separate his downfall from the Harris family's own long, toxic relationship with chaos. We remember the headlines: T.I. and Tiny, hip-hop's first couple of controversy, dragged through a new firestorm every few years, sometimes by their own actions, sometimes by old friends out for revenge, and sometimes by forces even they couldn't control. The earliest whispers started more than a decade ago, well before King ever picked up a microphone. It's almost as if the family mansion itself was built on a fault line. Every new chapter threatens to shake the whole empire to pieces.
I was trying to get to the bottom of things with King, trying to see if he having
Huh? Whoa. Where you coming out with this word?
because King got a little friend, and he be in love, like he's a lover boy.
You have
No, I'm not, I'm a virgin. It's other things than
that between him and his.
We can't ignore how their once glamorous reality TV life turned into a goldmine for gossip blogs. T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle, gave us front row seats to their family's private drama, but the curtain never truly dropped. Old episodes show King, barely out of grade school, already pushing back against the suffocating grip of fame. There's King, sulking in corners, bickering with his siblings, and clashing with his father's iron will. T.I. called himself the King of the South, but at home that crown always seemed a little crooked. In one infamous scene, after King admits to being active at just 15, T.I. shrugs off the double standard, monitoring his daughter's doctor visits while laughing about his son's escapades. That double standard didn't go unnoticed by fans or King himself, fueling a sense that, even with all their wealth, this was a family teetering on the edge. Those cracks widened in public. We saw father and son in heated arguments that spilled onto Instagram Live and into viral moments. Remember the luxury box scuffle at the Falcons game? T.I. with his son in a headlock, Tiny trying to play peacekeeper while King shouted about standing on business. Insiders say those weren't just TV antics. Off camera, the tension never cooled. Relatives, managers, even the occasional security guard have quietly admitted the Harris household was a battlefield, every achievement tainted by rumors, old wounds, and a constant need to defend themselves from new accusations. The truth is, none of this happened in a vacuum. For years, the Harrises have been bombarded with claims that go far beyond standard reality show drama. Sabrina Peterson, who once considered herself family, re-emerged as their most relentless critic, armed with receipts and a social media army. She's not hiding in the shadows, she's in the comments, on her stories, taunting them with lines like, "Lying on me was the beginning of your end. Don't worry, you're next." She accuses the family of orchestrating everything from forced substances to manipulation, of building their brand on exploitation and secrets. And her threats aren't idle. The feds already have this. I think the fans need it. That's what she told her followers, promising to drop a bombshell on her birthday.
If you are going to be emotionally attached to how they receive it, if you're going to have an emotional attachment to their opinion.
We're left to wonder just how much truth is buried in those cryptic human trafficking receipts Peterson claims to have. Some industry insiders are convinced she's bluffing, desperate for the spotlight. Others, including a former road manager who claims to have seen too much, insist the files are real and could tie not just T.I. and Tiny, but King himself to a much larger web of scandal. The label hasn't commented. Neither have the lawyers, except to recycle old statements. We are innocent of these fake claims. Yet the very existence of these files, real or not, has left the entire Atlanta hip-hop scene on edge. Is King's arrest just the latest misstep from a family always on the edge, or is there something more sinister at play? If Peterson's receipts are legitimate and King is linked in any way to a trafficking ring, his stint behind bars could be the least of his problems. One lawyer familiar with the case speculated that federal investigators are watching, waiting to see if the social media circus produces real evidence the timeline matches up. As the accusations escalated, so did the pressure on King. Within weeks, he's arrested on gun and driving charges. His mugshots splashed everywhere, the court of public opinion ready to convict.
What we're not gonna do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in, chime in, and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adults.
And if the family's track record is any indication, this isn't their last brush with disaster. We've seen T.I. and Tiny in courtrooms, we've seen them lose reality deals, and we've seen their denials get sharper with each new claim. When prosecutors declined to press charges, it was only because of statutes of limitations, never because the stories themselves evaporated. There are civil suits still circling, with Jane Doe's filing under new laws, seeking damages for things that allegedly happened in nightclubs and hotels years ago. The details are as messy as you'd expect: drinks spiked, memories lost, and the kind of humiliation nobody wants to relive on cable news. So where does all this leave King Harris? Right now, he's a cautionary tale, a once promising rapper whose most recent headlines have nothing to do with music. His friends, if they're still around, are silent. His mother is online denying rumors about the paternity of King's new baby, while his older sister takes to X to swat down trolls. The family line is unity, but the truth on the ground is far from united. We're hearing that King's new responsibilities, fatherhood, music, survival, are colliding with a legal minefield where every move could either restore his reputation or detonate the family's last shreds of credibility.
I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle. Right. Now, it does come with some, it's some adversity. It's some adversity to come with that. People get in your business.
Yeah.
Fans and haters are divided. Some insist King is just another spoiled celebrity son trying to prove himself in a world that doesn't care about silver spoons or gated communities. Others see him as collateral damage, born into a family that, for all its showbiz glory, never escaped the gravitational pull of controversy. Even those rooting for a comeback wonder if it's possible. Can King really rise above a legacy so stained with allegations and viral feuds? Or is he destined to be the latest Harris headline? Another name to toss on the pile, another scandal to dissect in 1,000 YouTube videos and gossip blogs.
And you can, kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion.
As for Peterson's final play, the countdown is ticking. If her promise files drop, they could blow up everything: record deals, legal defenses, and even the fragile truths inside the Harris home. The story isn't just about King's bruises or T.I.'s desperate attempts to rescue him. It's about a dynasty on the brink, a family whose every secret is a potential scandal, and a generation that might be paying for the mistakes of its parent. And so we watch King Harris, once a self-declared wild card, now living hour to hour behind bars, unsure if his future holds redemption or ruin. The Harris family, once untouchable, stands at a crossroads, haunted by the ghosts of their past and the threat of Peterson's looming revelations. Is this the end of Atlanta's most controversial clan? Or just the calm before their biggest storm yet? Let us know. Is King Harris a casualty of family chaos? Or is there a darker story lurking beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts below, don't hold back. Until next time, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and never forget, in the world of celebrity, every rumor hides a little truth.